Hi everyone, and thanks for joining me. Today I thought we would make some frozen gift tags using our Cricut. You can make this with the Cricut Maker or the Cricut Explorer, and I'm using the frozen digital image set that's in Cricut Design Space in honor of the Frozen 2 that is about to be released. And I'm using the frozen pattern paper that is a part of the current Cricut mystery box. I do have the mystery box linked in the description below the video if you're interested in those. But we're going to use print and cut. So if you're not familiar with print and cut, I'm going to walk you through step by step how to use print and cut with your Cricut. And then we're also going to cut the pattern papers and make these super cute gift tags just in time for the holidays. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is gather our images. So we're going to click on images. That's going to take us to the Cricut Design Space library. We're going to click on cartridges. In the search bar, we're going to type Frozen 2. And the images we're looking for are these right here. And I'm just going to click on this one. That's called Disney Frozen 2. There's 17 images. So I'm just going to choose 4 images. Let's see, I'll do 2 for Evie and 2 for Ace. So Evie loves Elsa and Anna. So let's use this one and this one. And for Ace, I'll use this one and let's use this one. All right, and then we also need some tags. So I'm going to click on images up here. And in the search bar, I'm going to type tags or just tag. And I'm just going to choose 4 different tags. So let's choose this one. I'm going to choose a round one. I'll choose this one and let's choose this one. And I'm going to click Insert Images. Okay, so I have my Disney images and I have my tags right here. So I'm going to work on one tag at a time. So I'm going to set the rest aside and we're going to start with this one. So the first thing I'm going to do is duplicate the tag. And I'm going to make this one smaller. Now, obviously, when I make this one smaller, the hole gets a little bit smaller. So you just want to make sure it doesn't get too small. And I think this one's going to be okay. So I've made this one 1.899 inches high. It's going to sit on top of the tag about like that. That looks fine to me. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to change this one to white. So I'm going to click on the color palette right up here in the top and click on white. So now it's white. And I think I'll make this one of Evie. So I'm going to grab one of my Elsa images. Let's use this one. I'm going to click on her and right click and put send to front. So now she's on top of my tag. I'm going to resize her by clicking on the bottom right arrow key. And I'm just going to set her just about like that, right on top of my tag. Now I'm going to click on text and I'm going to type Evie. And let's find a fun font. Let's look at the Cricut fonts so that you can duplicate it. I'm going to use a child's year. And I'm going to click on curve right up here in the edit menu. And I'm going to slightly curve this. About like that. And I might move that letter spacing down a little bit by clicking the down arrow right here. And now I'm going to position this, make it much smaller. I'm going to rotate it a little bit. And that's going to fit right there. Maybe a little bit smaller. And I think I'd like to change the color of that font. So I'm going to click on the color palette again. And it's giving me the colors right up here that are already on the board or already in my objects. So I can change it to one of those, or I think I'm going to choose maybe purple. All right, so I've got everything there, but it is not a printable image yet. These are all separate images. If I were to print and cut this right now, each thing would print and cut separately. So what I want to do is select it all, right click, flatten. And that makes all of those images one printable image, which is going to set on top of this tag. So I'm going to put this one aside for right now. We're done working with that one. Let's do one for Ace. So let's grab this one. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to duplicate it. I'm going to make it smaller. And you know, you can make it as big or as little as you want. I want to make sure this tag in the back shows so that I can use my frozen printable paper. And if this hole looks like it's getting too small, that one looks pretty small. So I'm going to click on Shapes, grab a circle. I'm going to make the circle about the size that I want it to be. I'm going to place it right over that hole. I'm going to select both. I'm going to click Align, Align Center Horizontally. That makes sure it's right in the middle. And then I'm going to right click and click Slice. And now I've sliced just a little bit bigger hole out of there. So you might have to do that. You may or may not. It just depends how once you shrink the top one, how big that hole looks. But I want to make sure that I can at least get a string through it. All right, so now we're going to make a tag for Ace. So I'm going to change this one to kind of a light blue. That looks frozen. That looks frozen-ish. And I'm going to grab this one and I'm going to shrink it down so that it fits on this tag. I'm going to right click, send to front. It's in front of my tag. Keep shrinking it down a little bit. I'm going to place this guy on here. Maybe I'll put him over here. All right, now I want to add Ace's name. So I'm going to type, and I actually think I'm going to do his this way, A-C-E. All right, and we're going to change the line spacing to make those close together. So here's my word. Pull this up here so you can see it. So I'm changing the line spacing, clicking the down arrow, moving those letters closer together. Keep going. And for me, I'm having to click to about minus 5.5. All right, so now I can make this a little bit smaller, and I'm going to put that right here. Looks really cute. I could change the color of the font. Let's make it a dark blue. And again, I'm going to select it all, right click, flatten. Whenever you flatten something, it makes it a printable image. So that's going to sit right on top of this label. And I'm not worried about what color I'm making these labels because I'm going to use the patterned paper. So I can make these all the same if I want to cut them all out of the same pattern paper, the larger labels, or I can change colors and then switch the paper out. So for right now, I think I'm going to leave them different colors. All right, so we have this one done. Let's work on this one. And this one will be, let's do Evie again. And so let's make her a light purple one. And again, I'm going to duplicate. I'm going to make a smaller version just by shrinking it down. That hole looks pretty small, so I'm going to grab another shape. My circle, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to place it over the hole. Select both. Right click, slice. And I made that hole a little bit bigger, so I can get rid of that. All right, so this one I'm going to put the other Anna and Elsa on. And again, I'm going to make it smaller. Right click, send to front, smaller, smaller. Well, this one's going to look like that. And I'm going to put her name again, Evie. And I think I'll do again the curving. Change my letter spacing down using the down arrow. And I'm going to rotate it a little bit, shrink it down, shrink it down. And I think I'll change that font to white. All right, again, we're going to select everything, right click and flatten. So now we have the EV tags ready. So that gives us one more. And we got this cute guy. So I'm going to make a white one for Ace. So I'll do white. All right, we're going to duplicate it, shrink it down, make a smaller version. Looks like that hole's getting small again. So let's make it a little bit bigger by grabbing a circle. Place it right over that one. Select both, right click, slice. All right, we've got a bigger hole. You want to make sure you don't get it too big because the paper could tear on your tag. So that's going to sit just like that. I might make that just a little bit bigger. All right, now we're going to take our snowman and I'm going to make him a little bit smaller. Right click, send to front. So now he's on the tag, he fits. And maybe I'll put him like up here. Rotate it a little. You can do it however you want. Maybe I like it down there a little bit better. All right, so now I'm going to add text and I'm going to type Ace. And you can change your fonts, whatever you want to do, make it yours. And I'm just going to do it like that. Change the color of the font to maybe this color. Going to select both. Actually, I'm thinking I got that hole a little bit too big, so I'm going to show you how to fix it. So we're going to hit Shapes, grab our circle again. I'm going to make it bigger than that hole. All right, so I'm going to grab both of those. Right click, weld. So all I'm doing is covering up that hole again. So now I'm going to redo the hole. So let's move this over. Shapes, circle. Make it a little bit smaller. Bring it down from the top a little bit. All right, I'm going to select both, click Align, center horizontally, and then right click again and slice. There we go. That looks better. Delete, delete the holes, right click, send to back, and we can line everything back up. That looks good to me. So I'm going to select all, right click, flatten. All right, so now we have our 4 different tags and their corresponding little tag that's going to go on the top. So now what I'm going to do is move everything off to the side for a moment. And what I want to do, when you print then cut, your printable area, the largest you can print then cut is 9.25 by 6.75. So I'm going to click on images, or I'm sorry, I'm going to click on shapes and I'm going to grab a square. I'm going to click on the lock button so that it's unlocked. Now I can manipulate the length and the height separately. So I'm going to change the width to 6.75. I'm going to change the height to 9.25. And this is going to represent my printable area. So I'm just for the ease of seeing it, I'm going to click on the color swatch and just change this to a light gray. Now I'm going to right click on it and click send to back. So this is as much of a printable area as I can get for a one sheet of paper. So what I'm going to do is take my printable image, and this is my Ace tag, this is my EV tag. I'm going to take one of each of my printable images. All right. So I still have extra room here. I could do another row if I wanted. but I don't need it. So I'm going to click on this one and I'm going to duplicate 1, 2, 3, 4, and see how many I can fit up here. And you can fit as many, you can fill this entire rectangle up if you want. So a easy way to get this everything spaced. Let's try one more. See if I can fit that in there. All right, so an easy way to tell if you can fit everything in is put one of them on one end, put your first one on the opposite end, and then hold your shift key, click this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Then you're going to go up to align bottom, and then align, distribute horizontally. And that will make everything evenly spaced, and I can move it up to the top as high as I want. So now I know I can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of my ace tags across my printable paper. Now you can do it however you want. You can fill this paper up however you want, but this is how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to do the same thing with the EV tag. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to click duplicate several times and see how many I can fit. I'm going to take that last one and put it right here. The first one's where I want it. I'm going to click on that one, hold my shift key, click the next one, the next one, the next one, the next one, and that last one. Click align bottom. It'll put them all in a row. And then align, distribute horizontally. All right, so now I can move that row up there. And this way I'm not wasting any of my printable paper. So here I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to duplicate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Move this one here, that one there. I'm going to click on the first one, second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one. I'm holding my shift key, that last one. Align, and you can hit align top if you want. That'll move them up there, and then align, distribute horizontally. So there I have a row of the ace tags. And now I have one more to do. So we're going to duplicate that one more time. Okay, so you can fill this entire rectangle up if you want. I'm going to, for the sake of the video, I'm going to stop here. So we're going to grab that rectangle and I'm just going to delete it. And now I'm going to select all of my printable images because I know these are going to fit within my printable area, and I'm going to save as much paper as possible. So I've got everything selected in my printable area. I'm going to right click and choose attach. And that's going to keep everything just like I have it set up. Perfect. All right, so now I'm going to make the matching tag. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 circles. So I need 5 of these. So I'm going to duplicate 1. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got, for this tag, I've got 6. Duplicate, so I have 6 of those. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got 6 of these. Duplicate, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 6 of these. 2, 3, 4, 5. So again, if you want to cut these out of a full page and you want to do a full page of them, just make as many as you can fit on your page. If you want to cut these out of the same paper, which I think I'll cut 2 of them. I'm just going to cut 2 different papers because the papers are double-sided, so I can use the back side on the other ones. So what I'm going to do is go over to Color Sync. And what Color Sync allows you to do is to change the color of something that's on your mat to the color of something else on your mat. So here are all the different colors on my mat. So I think I'm just going to take this green one and move it up to the white. And I'm going to take this purple one and move it down to the pink. So now I just have 2 colors of tags to cut out. So I'm going to use more of my papers. So let me show you how this works. You're going to click Make It. So we're going to click Send to Printer. Once you click Send to Printer, you have a few options here. The first one is a drop-down menu where you can choose different printers if you have different printers in your home. So I'm going to choose my printer, which is my Epson Workforce. You can choose the number of copies you want to make. If you want to make multiples of these, you can change that just by clicking the up or down arrow. Let's just leave it at 1 for this video. You have the option to turn the bleed off. What the bleed is an option that Design Space gives you. If you have the bleed on, it will put extra ink around the edge of your cut. So in this case, it would put extra blue ink right around the edge of this tag. In this case, it would put extra purple ink around this tag. And when you print it, you might think, oh, this doesn't look good, it's fuzzy. But what it does is it puts that extra ink and then it cuts off around or inside that extra ink so that you have true edge-to-edge coloring. So if you see fuzzy edges on your printed image, don't worry about it. Once it cuts it, it's going to cut those fuzzy edges off. So I recommend leaving the bleed on. And then it says use system dialog. I like to print using the system dialog because I can change my settings, and that really makes a difference in how vibrant and crisp your images look once you print and cut them. So what you do is you just click that on, and it tells you after clicking print, your print dialog may appear behind your Design Space application. So I'm going to click print, and you see this spinning, and it looks like nothing's happening. But what has happened is it has truly moved behind my Design Space application. So you can see it right here. So I'm just dropping my menu bar down a little bit, get it out of the way here. And here we have our print dialog box. Now yours may or may not look like this depending on what printer you have. But for me, I always go in here and choose media type, and I'm going to choose photo matte paper. I like to print on brochure paper from Staples. I find it gives me the very best, most vibrant images. I also like to print on Cricut white cardstock. So you can do either way, and I think you guys will be impressed with your result either way. But the other thing you want to make sure that you do is always make sure you put your settings on best quality. You want nice, crisp images. You need to change your printer to best quality. So once you do that, you're going to go ahead and click print. I'll take you over to my printer and show you exactly how this process works. So here we are at my printer. You can see it just printed out the tags. Now everybody always asks me which printer I have. This is the Epson Workforce 7610. I like it because it has this paper bypass back here. So when I want to use cardstock, it's feeding the paper straight through the printer and out. It's not having to pick it up from this bottom tray and then pull it up like this. That can often be a problem. So this paper is like a cardstock weight, and because I could feed it in here and it feeds straight through the printer and back out, it more easily grabs it. So that's the printer I use. If you know, I don't particularly say that you have to use an Epson Workforce, but you want to look for one with a bypass in the back that feeds paper straight through if you want to do cardstock. So let's go back over to my craft room and I will show you what we do with this. Okay, so I have put the printed images on my mat in the upper left corner, just like so. And you just want to make sure that you either use a blue mat or a green mat that's not brand new. You don't want your cardstock to stick to the mat. And I've put Design Space on medium cardstock. It says 80-pound medium cardstock. So I'm going to take this over to the Cricut and we're going to insert it, and you're going to see how the print and cut works. Okay, once the C starts blinking, you're going to go ahead and click it. And what the Cricut's going to do is read this black line that's all the way around. That tells the Cricut where the images are on the paper. So you can see it's reading that black line. It's going to read it on the top and the bottom, the left and the right. And that just tells it where these images are in relationship to the piece of paper. So this is called the registration marks. So it's going to read those marks, and then it's going to pause slightly. And then it's going to cut out our images. Okay, so you can see we have cut out our printed images. Now, one Cricut tip is to, especially when you're working with cardstock, is to pull the mat away from the paper, not the paper away from the mat, and that will give you the least amount of wrinkling and curling. So I'm going to pull my mat away while pulling this cardstock down. There we go. So you can see my tags turned out really great, and I'm just going to kind of fold the mat back to pull the tags off. So as I mentioned, the bleed gives you that edge-to-edge coloring, so I strongly recommend that you leave that on. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the rest of these, and then I'm going to cut my tags using my frozen patterned paper from Cricut, and you can see these pattern papers are gorgeous. They're 12 by 12. They're double-sided, so I'm going to get some of my tags in the purple and some of them are going to be on this side. And I chose this one, which has Olaf and some snowflakes on the other side. So I will go ahead and cut these out and remove my tags, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we've got all of our tags cut out, and you can see the awesome thing about these is like I cut 6 of each of these, but they're double-sided. So some of them, I'll put like 3 this way and 3 this way. Same on this one. So I've got 2 different looks. Same on my circles. Now some of these circles cut out just perfectly, and I didn't even line it up, but I have a perfect image. So I'll use that side on this one, that side on this one, and on these, I think I'll use the purple side. So you can mix and match these any way you want. You could cut them all out differently, whatever floats your boat. So here was my thought on how to assemble these. So I'm going to take one of my round ones, and I'm going to take an Eevee round tag, and you can mix and match these. You don't have to use the round with the round. And I'm just going to place it right over the top. So it makes a super cute little tag. She's still got her Anna and Elsa. We're going to take one of my strings, and I just bought this roll of twine at Target. It's by Spirits. I'm going to fold my twine in half, just like that. I'm going to take the folded end, and I'm just going to thread it right through that circle, or the hole. It goes through both pieces of cardstock. There we go. I'm going to open the hole and just thread the tails through, and there's my tag. So I'll do another one, grab this one for Ace, and which one do I want to put on here? I'll put this one. Take a string, fold it in half, thread it through, and I have a super cute tag for Ace. So I hope you enjoyed this video and you learned a little bit about print and cut with the Cricut Maker and the Cricut Explorer. The possibilities are endless. You don't have to use the frozen images. You can use the Mickey Mouse images. You could use the Winnie the Pooh. You could use just an owl. Any image in Design Space can be a printable image using that flatten method that I show you in the video. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to click that bell notification so that you're notified every time there is a new video. If you're interested in the Disney Digital Mystery Box or the Disney Mystery Box, the physical mystery box, I've got both of those linked in the description below the video. It is an affiliate link and it helps support my free tutorials and patterns. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, never stop making. See you guys. Bye-bye.